Happy Friday, August 8th, 2025. Halfcast 590, episode 590. Let's go. Of course, I have a few things to share with you guys. Shall we? Red flag, man charged in fraudulent attempt to gain job with Bruceville Eddy Police Department, like trying to break into jail.
One man is in custody accused of tampering with a document to fraudulently get a job as an officer at the Bruceville Eddy Police Department. Investigators say 47-year-old Theodore Nanashu has applied with at least 55 law enforcement agencies altogether. The police chief said he noticed differences in the personal history statements the suspect provided as part of the application and documents provided by previous employers. He was released on $20,000 bond.
Look at him, head looking like a shaved testicle. Now, he looks like the type of person that would give people tickets for not having sex with him. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Not like that other girl who was actually pretty good looking and a real cop. It must feel awful seeing all these officers doing porn, having OnlyFans, having affairs while on duty. The bar is just so low and they still won't even let you get one foot in the door. That's how bad you suck. A man who has applied with at least 55 law enforcement agencies, 55, Dikembe Mutombo, tampered with a document in an effort to fraudulently obtain a police officer position with the Bruceville Eddy Police Department in Central Texas. An arrest warrant alleges Theodore Nanashu, 47. You sure they didn't throw your applications out after trying to pronounce your last name? Was arrested in McLennan County on August 5th, 2025 and charged with tampering with a government record. According to the arrest warrant, Bruceville Eddy Police Chief Michael Dorsey said Nanashu inquired about a police officer position with his department. Dorsey sent him the most current version of the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement, TCO, personal history statement, PHS document. When Nanashu applied, however, Dorsey noticed the PHS document submitted by Nanashu was not the version Dorsey sent, rather an outdated version of the document the warrant alleges. He's not a veteran cop, he's a veteran applicant. How do you apply to 55 law enforcement jobs and don't know that it's illegal to tamper with the applications? Better yet, how do you apply to 55 law enforcement jobs and don't know how to tamper with the application? See, you want people to apply who are enthusiastic about policing their communities and making them a better place, but he's just way too thirsty for it. Somebody really dodged the bullet with this guy, because it wouldn't have been long before he either caught an excessive force, a wrongful shooting, or even a wrongful death, costing the city millions. Dorsey further reviewed documentation provided by 3 of Nanashu's previous law enforcement employers, including PHS statements submitted by Nanashu. According to the warrant, Dorsey found discrepancies when comparing the PHS statements and documents. So you went from just being an applicant to the center of a fraud investigation. Life comes at you quick, Teddy. Dorsey in the arrest warrant for Nanashu specifically listed the following items under the discrepancies he allegedly noticed in the PHS documents. There are a few. Other names, including nicknames you have used or been known by. Have you ever applied to any other law enforcement agency in the last 10 years? List all residences during the last 10 years. List all jobs during the last 10 years. Have you ever been disciplined at work? I'm thinking he has. Have you ever been fired or been asked to resign from any place of employment? I think he has. Have you ever been detained for investigation, held for suspicion, questioned, fingerprinted, arrested, indicted, criminally charged, convicted of any misdemeanor or felony? Have you ever been party in a civil lawsuit? Dorsey then met with TCO Deputy Chief TJ Vineyard, who oversees the commission's compliance and standards division, and provided more background information for Nanashu. Teddy, Teddy, buddy. You should have quit while you were ahead, way back there at application 2 or 3. Not only did you get their attention in a wrong way, they concluded that you shouldn't work in law enforcement, but they also concluded that you really shouldn't be on the streets either. Vineyard informed Dorsey he had been investigating an issue for some time and had extensive records to the point where the police are not even concerned with you as an applicant anymore. They're concerned about your character as a person. Deputy Chief Vineyard was able to provide me with a list of approximately 55 law enforcement agencies that Theodore Nanishu has applied with starting from 10/18/2017 to June 25th, 2025. Dorsey wrote in an arrest warrant. In his investigative briefing, Vineyard noted that Nanishu, this is going to be good, appears to have held more than 30 jobs as an adult. That's like 3 separate people's lifetimes worth of employment. He has been fired from several of them and frequently threatens to sue employers that fire him. Nanishu previously admitted to key factors like drug use and terminations. Drugs fills in all the blanks now, doesn't it? That he now denies. In some cases, he no longer lists a past job to conceal a termination. You can't do that. They're the police. They can look this stuff up. Nanishu found people willing to act as references and endorse some of his untruths. What did he tell them? That when I become a police officer, you can speed all you want? Because there are so many problems with his employment history. Agencies with more rigorous or thorough background processes identify concerns early and disqualify him from consideration. Application right in a wastebasket, often without completing the background investigation. Nanishu applies almost exclusively with very small departments, likely hoping that their low pay, dire need, and limited resources will make them less likely to do a comprehensive background investigation. You're wrong. Nanishu never discloses all of the agencies that he has applied with. Do you have enough paper? The sheer number is a red flag in itself. Absolutely. Vineyard further stated that he had reason to believe Nanishu on June 12, 2025, knowingly made a false entry in a government record and make present and use a government record with knowledge of its falsity. He just doesn't pass the smell test or the vibe check. He looks like he would wear his uniform when he's off duty just so people knows he's a cop. Like he would use his badge to eat chili out of the can or just pull up on some random women during his shift and ask him if they want to play with his nightstick. Nanishu did so with the intent to harm or defraud the Bruceville Eddy Police Department and Chief Dorsey, head looking like a zested lemon. Law enforcement is a noble profession due to the vital role officers play in maintaining public safety and upholding the law. In my position as an administrator, it is my role to protect the integrity of our profession and to do my due diligence to ensure that we are hiring candidates with sound ethical and moral standards, Chief Dorsey wrote in a statement emailed to KWTX. Mic drop. This case represents that our department takes any application process seriously, as you should, and will take the necessary steps to nail Nanishu's ass to the wall. No, to uphold the trust of our citizens and our community. Of course, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. I'd love to hear your opinions on this. Me personally, if he really wanted the job that bad, then he should have took some time and add something notable to your resume, something positive, something that's going to make someone want to pull you into office and ask you a few more questions. Instead, he thought they weren't going to do their research. He was dead wrong there. And on top of that, he just looks like the type of person that you talk to with the chain still on the door. Georgia man arrested for allegedly threatening to kill Trump.
Tonight, a Floyd County man faces charges for threatening to assassinate President Trump. The Department of Justice arrested 29-year-old Jawan Porter today. He faces federal charges. Authorities say last month, Porter joined a TikTok live stream where he allegedly made threats in the comments. They say he also threatened federal agents coming to his door. During a search of his apartment, Secret Service agents and police found pipes, ammunition, and an explosive. Police say Porter has prior convictions for terroristic threats and is currently on probation. A hearing is set for next week.
This is not an attack on the First Amendment. He threatened the president. It's been illegal to threaten the president for well over 100 years now. This isn't something they just scribbled in a couple years ago. While it is your right to be strongly for or strongly against any president and or government, it's also your right to speak harshly, to be critical of any president and or government. They draw the line at the threats. And you know Trump hates TikTok so much. He has a personal disdain for TikTok, which is still being ran by the Chinese. He probably feels like he took an L on that. Then you got this guy issuing a blaring 4-alarm threat on his life on the platform that he tried to deplatform. It's like having two pimples on one butt cheek. Juwan Rashawn Porter was arrested on Friday for an alleged social media tirade about killing President Donald Trump, which seems to be the trendy thing to do nowadays. But don't monkey see, monkey do your way into a prison sentence, kids. The suspect, a 29-year-old from Rome, Georgia, had joined a TikTok live stream on July 26 about the Trump administration and their Alligator Alcatraz facility, which has been used to detain illegal aliens. Porter allegedly dropped a comment threatening the commander-in-chief's life. So there's only one way to make America great, and that is putting a bullet in between Trump's eyes, Porter remarked, according to a release from the U.S. Justice Department. There were similar comments made over the next several minutes of the live stream. You'd think they weren't watching. They were watching. I'm going to kill Donald Trump. I'm going to put a 7.62 bullet, that is an AK-47 if I'm not mistaken, inside his forehead, Porter allegedly continued. What I think is happening is people truly believe that no one is watching. That's why people post their own crimes. That's why they make these wild videos, making these wild statements, saying absolutely anything. They believe no one is paying attention, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Especially the American government has dedicated human beings, dedicated bots, dedicated algorithms scrubbing the internet 24/7, looking for these buzzwords. And if you ring enough bells, sure enough, someone is going to come knocking on your door like they did this guy. That's a hell of a way to violate probation. He better hope his PO didn't vote for Trump. I'm going to watch him bleed out and I'm going to watch him die. The remark said, I'm going to do that. When other live stream participants raised the possibility of federal agents paying him a visit, Porter defiantly added, I'm going to kill them too because he's the original Don Dada. That's when you got to cut your part of the live stream and get as far away from that guy as you possibly can before you end up on a federal watch list with him. Here's what I don't understand about people who think that killing the president is going to change the country. Okay, let's take Trump, for example. He only has he has less than 3.5 years left on his term. So if you're unsuccessful and they don't kill you, by the time you get comfortable in your prison cell, he'll be out of office. You could have just waited him out. Or if you're successful and they don't kill you, it won't matter who's president because you'll be in jail for so long it won't make a difference who's running the country. The comments appeared to be more than empty threats, according to the Justice Department. When Secret Service agents joined local and state police to investigate Porter's apartment, they found 2 pipes, pistol ammunition, and tannerite, which is an explosive. Damn, Porter has prior convictions for terroristic threats, influencing a witness, mutiny in a penal institution, what he calls the riot, drug possession, battery, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and domestic violence. He is currently on probation. The release noted the suspect was therefore charged with making threats against the president. A new notch to your belt, buddy. He is expected to receive a detention hearing on August 12th. The allegations against Porter are serious and required a swift, decisive, and collaborative response, U.S. Attorney Theodore Hertzberg said in the release. We do not tolerate threats against public officials or law enforcement officers, and Porter will now face the consequences of his action. He's cooked. Of course, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. I'd love to hear your opinions. Can you imagine being on a live stream and he just starts talking crazy like this? You can't get out of there fast enough. You can't click off. Boom. Now you're on a federal watch list. Might even get your TikTok account banned because Trump might not be able to stick it to TikTok the way he wants to at this moment, but he can definitely snatch you up legally and lawfully faster than you could say sugar goes on grits for issuing threats. Fun show, fun show, fun show. The music for this podcast is from Caesar Beats. Get your music from Caesar Beats. I'll leave the contact information down at the bottom. If you're a producer and you would like to have your music featured on an episode of this podcast, reach out to me on any one of my socials. Don't forget to follow me on my social media platforms. Find me anywhere you listen to podcasts. I am there. That being said, I'm going to wrap this one up, but I'll be sure to talk to you guys very, very soon. Jusqu'à la prochaine. Wow. On a platform, he tried to deplatform. It's like having two pimples on one butt cheek. That is nice. August 4th, 2025, Halfcast 589, episode 589. Let's go. Of course, I have a few things to share with you guys. An evening of reflection. Shall we? Good Samaritan alerts authorities after discovering 50 pounds of suspected cocaine floating off Florida Keys. The amount of unclaimed cocaine that comes washing in regularly is so staggering that the people in the area don't even treat it like it's news anymore. Hell, last year, the mayor of Tampa even found kilos of cocaine when she was fishing in the Florida Keys, all to live in the USA, the land of opportunity. You walk out to get your newspaper in the morning, you come back in a cocaine kingpin. God bless America. A person in Florida stumbled on what authorities believe to be 50 pounds of cocaine floating off the coast of a local village. A kilo is 2.2 pounds. On Friday, August 1st, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office announced that a Good Samaritan, they keep putting Good Samaritan in quotes like they trying to throw shade at the guy for turning in the coke, who was identified as a mariner, found the 23 kilograms or roughly 50 pounds of suspected cocaine 5 miles south of Islamorada in the Florida Keys. Both the U.S. Customs Border and Protection and the MCSO then brought the packages ashore before turning them over to federal authorities, according to the MCSO. Hello, law enforcement. I'd like to make an anonymous tip. I'd like to report these 100 kilos of cocaine. Someone needs to come out and get these 75 kilos of cocaine before they fall into the wrong hands, because as a concerned citizen, I feel obligated obligated to turn in these 23 kilos of cocaine for the safety of the general public because I'm a good Samaritan. The MCSO also shared an image to social media of the taped up packages, which were shaped like bricks, like cocaine normally is, sitting on a dock. There appeared to be roughly 20 packages in total, with certain portions blurred out for the sake of the Facebook post. So there's no problem with posting the cocaine. There's the problem with posting the brand name that's on the cocaine, right? Be serious. The identity of the mariner who discovered the suspected cocaine packages has not been released publicly. When reached for comment on Sunday, August 3rd, the MCSO directed people to U.S. Customs Border and Protection. Contacts for the CBP did not immediately respond to a request for further information. I'm just saying, if you found a litter of kittens on the side of the road, you wouldn't just leave the kittens there and then call animal control once you got home. You would take the kittens home, clean them up, and then eventually you might even keep a couple kittens for yourself. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. This is not the first time drugs have been handed into the MCSO in recent years. It is not. It didn't even take long for me to find a multitude of videos of drugs being found in the Florida Keys. In early July, the office shared an image to Facebook of a package containing what it believed to be 1.3 kilograms or nearly 3 pounds of suspected cocaine discovered near mile marker 79.5. The package featured an image from the 2000 film Gladiator. This was fun as always. I would love to hear your opinions on this. And of course, I'm not saying sell drugs. I'm only saying sell those drugs. $15,000 a key. Miami Vice prices. Get yourself a new boat, a new rod, a new reel, a new tackle box, hell, even a new wife. Cocaine opens up doors for you, buddy. Woman allegedly stabbed former friend at Miami 7-Eleven, bragged about it online. Call me Chucky. I guess her friendship was about as strong as that lace front glue peeling off the side of her face.
A Houston woman facing an attempted murder charge after authorities accuse her of stabbing another woman at a South Florida gas station. This is Shakia Trayvon Jenkins. Detectives say she stabbed the victim after an argument earlier that night at a lounge in North Miami Beach. Police also say the victim showed detectives a video of what happened and an Instagram live of Jenkins boasting about stabbing her. Jenkins is being held with no bond.
Shakia. Somehow I think the least of your worries is going to be telling people what you would rather be called from now on, because very, very soon your name is going to be inmate XYZ123. But I do see a startling similarity between you and Chucky. It's that good guy doll hair that's holding up your wig. I'm surprised they even let you take a mugshot with it on without either bagging it up as evidence or charging it as an accomplice. A 29-year-old Texas woman, Houston if I'm not mistaken, it's always Houston, Shakia Jenkins is accused of stabbing a former friend at a Miami 7-Eleven parking lot following an argument at a nightclub. Jenkins allegedly bragged about the stabbing online, saying, "I stabbed that hoe. Call me Chucky and call me Michael Myers." No, sweetheart, we'd much rather call you defendant. According to a criminal complaint obtained by Law and Crime, the incident occurred on Tuesday, July 15th. The victim, who was not named, encountered Jenkins, a former friend, at Uncut nightclub in Miami, and an argument ensued. There's always some type of falling out during these girls' trips, ain't it? They were both removed from the nightclub and, in an Instagram live, agreed to meet in Miami to fight, as per the document. Both women then arrived at a 7-Eleven parking lot located on Northwest 79th Street. Y'all don't have anything better to do in Miami in the middle of the summer? They engaged in a physical altercation. At one point, the victim felt a sharp object stabbing her in the face. Damn, as per the affidavit. If there's anything that history has taught us time and time and time again, is that after hours, 7-Eleven is like what the OK Corral was back in the Wild Wild West. You don't want to eat anything out of there after hours. You don't want to be in the parking lot. If you have to be, your head got to be on the swivel. Me personally, I wouldn't have met her at 7-Eleven. I wouldn't have met her anywhere. I would have told her to go screw herself. I'm in Miami and I'm going to go enjoy myself doing something else. The victim escaped and arrived at the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Northside Police Station to report the incident. Got your ass. There, the victim provided videos of the incident. An Instagram live video allegedly showed Jenkins saying, "I stabbed that hoe. Call me Chucky and call me Michael Myers. Oh no, sweetheart, we'd much rather call you guilty. Additionally, the video shows Jenkins showing a black knife to the camera, the affidavit alleged. So not only do they have the video, they also have the weapon and a confession. A Facebook Live, just make it easy for them. A Facebook live stream provided by the victim also showed Jenkins allegedly making several troubling statements regarding the incident. As per the affidavit, Jenkins allegedly said that hoe can have fingerprints. Evidence, I don't give a flying expletive. I ain't sorry, expletive at all. I'll do it again and I would be happy. Smiling on my mugshot. She didn't look too happy in that mugshot. Knowing, ho, you good dead and not coming back, among other statements. First off, don't stab anyone. That prevents everything right there. But after that, do people even try to get away with crime anymore? Is it more important for you to tell everyone how bad you mess someone up for social media, for the likes and the views in the comments, than it is for you to tell no one? Don't make it a layup for the police, and definitely don't have yourself in 4K with the weapon and confession. The affidavit alleged that Jenkins then changed her Facebook profile picture to a picture of Afeni Badu Muhammad. Muhammad is accused of fatally stabbing her McDonald's manager after being sent home early. That's your hero? That sounds like a story I would have loved to come across. Then TikTok screen recording showed Jenkins allegedly saying, among other things, she better be thanking God she didn't die today, and I should have finished that hoe off. As per the affidavit, it was revealed that Jenkins has been previously convicted of grand theft and fraud. You got a new notch on your belt. On Friday, August 1st, Shakia Jenkins was arrested at Miami International Airport. Where are you going? You gonna run? After you so brazenly did all this and said you don't care about going to jail, now you're gonna try to run? She was charged with attempted first-degree murder, possession of a weapon by a convicted felon, and written or electronic threats to kill or inflict bodily injury, and you can't fight not one of them. They got you on video. Of course, I'd like to hear your opinions on this. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, but can you picture the judge taking a look at this unapologetic confession with the weapon in her hand and telling her, I usually ask people if they have anything to say for themselves, but since you already said you wish you would have finished the whole off, here, take this 20 years in the women's prison where they have to cut up your hot dogs and sausages for you. Fun show, fun show, fun show. The music for this episode is from Caesar Beats. Get your music from Caesar Beats. I'll leave the contact information down here at the bottom. If you're a producer and you would like to have your music featured on an episode of this podcast, reach out to me on any one of my social media platforms. I'll leave that at the top. Don't forget to follow me on all my social media. Find me wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm there. That being said, I'm going to wrap this one up, but I'll be sure to talk to you guys very, very soon. Jusqu'à la prochaine fois. Woman allegedly stabbed former friend at Miami 7-Eleven, bragged about it online. Call me Chucky. I guess her friendship fell out like that lace front glue. Shakia. Somehow I think the least of your worries is going to be telling people what you would rather be called from now on, because very soon your name is going to be inmate XYZ123. July 30th, 2025, Halfcast 588, episode 588. Let's go. Of course, I have a few things to share with you guys. An evening of reflection. Shall we? Subway manager allegedly locked 10-year-old girl in a room and berated her after she walked across floor he just mopped. I'm telling you, that whole Subway brand is just horrible for children. First you had Jared the pedestrian, the podiatrist, the pediatrician, and whatever the hell he had going on with the little kids. He almost sank the company. Now you got some angry ginger with a paprika-colored beard screaming at a 10-year-old girl. What did she do? Steal your Lucky Charms? A Subway employee was arrested and charged for allegedly locking a young girl in a room after she walked on an area of floor that was freshly mopped. That's going to look great on your resume. On Monday, July 21st, James Anthony Morris Jr. was arrested after allegedly imprisoning a 10-year-old girl at a Jacksonville, Florida Subway location where he is a manager. Law and Crime reported, citing an arrest report from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Action News Jax also reported about the incident. After arriving with her mother at the restaurant located on Argyle Forest Boulevard near Old Middleburg Road, per Action News Jax, the girl walked on an area that Morris 33 had just mopped. According to the report obtained by Law and Crime, her mother subsequently asked her to apologize, per the report. Me personally, just seeing the mom step in and telling the little girl to apologize, that would have been more than enough for me. But it seems James has let that little management position go to his head. We all know someone like that. You make sandwiches, James. I can stop this recording and cover your shift right now with little or no training. They could replace you with a scarecrow, and as long as it doesn't catch fire while it's baking bread, it'll make employee of the month. The Subway manager then allegedly grabbed the girl by the hand, you're bugging, and brought her to the back of the restaurant where he locked her in a room, according to the arrest report. Initially, the girl's mom believed Morris was playing around, then began to panic. Law and Crime reported, I do not fault the mom for not thinking that someone could be a lunatic and do something so off the wall. The distressed parent tried to open the door, but Morris allegedly pushed it closed, leading to an altercation. According to the arrest report, the mom then allegedly fought with the Subway manager, that's right, and called out for help, ultimately getting the door open to free her daughter. Another employee at the sandwich shop responded to the mom's cries for help. According to the arrest report, he later told police that he allegedly observed Morris pull the girl and heard the commotion that followed. He also called Morris's behavior weird, per the report. There's no way you can sit here and tell me that work-related stress is what drove James to go off on that little girl like that. You bake cookies for a living. It releases endorphins. He snapped on that little girl like he's been policing the mean streets of Inglewood for the past 20 years. Take your PTO, buddy. Police believe that in total, the girl was in the room for upwards of 2 minutes, according to Law and Crime. If you're terrified, 2 minutes is a very long time. Subway did not immediately respond to people's request for comment on Saturday, July 26, nor did the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. The girl told police that when the manager allegedly brought her to the room, he gripped her hand even tighter and told her that her parents are trash and terrible people. James got some problems. According to Law and Crime, the child thought she was being kidnapped and was really scared. The outlet reported, oh, she they're about to get a bag. The girl told police that Morris did not make any sexual advances towards her, according to Law and Crime. She also confirmed that she had never seen Morris before, per Action News Jax. For example, establishments like 7-Eleven, the employees are constantly mopping the floor and people are constantly walking over the mop floor. They don't trip about it because those people are in there to spend money. That's the name of the game. That's the nature of the beast. While it is general etiquette for someone to not walk on a floor where someone is just mopped, it happens. They don't take it personal. The only thing I should hear out of your mouth, James, is do you want to make it a combo? Butt sniffing bandit arrested after camera catches him targeting woman at mall.
New tonight at 11 is a brazen Burbank butt-sniffing bandit back at it. Burbank police say the same crouching creeper they first encountered in 2021 has been arrested again. This video is from a similar case we reported on back in 2023. Burbank police identify the man as Khalees Crowder. Detectives say they responded Tuesday to a report of a suspicious person loitering in the women's department in Nordstrom Rack in the Burbank Empire Center. When they got there, the man was already gone, but he was soon spotted inside the nearby Walmart. Police say they watched him on Walmart surveillance cameras as he entered the women's clothing section. That's where police say they witnessed Crowder crouching near a woman and sniffing her.
I caught that story back in August 2023. Khalees Karan Crowder sniffing women's butts in a Burbank Barnes & Nobles. He was actually supposed to have registered as a sex offender back then, but they did not even charge him for not registering as a sex offender. They just gave him 60 days in jail. Fast forward, here he goes again, back up to his same old tricks. There is no rehabilitating a serial butt sniffer. The recidivism rate is like 100%. You can shake people out of heroin. You can get people to give up alcohol. You can even get people to quit porn. But once someone catches a chippy for sniffing women's asses, it's lifelong. A California man was arrested after allegedly being caught on camera sniffing a woman's buttocks at a department store like a fresh baked apple pie sitting on the windowsill. Burbank police said Khalees Karan Crowder, 38, was taken into custody on Tuesday, July 22nd, after police responded to a report of a suspicious individual loitering in the women's department of Nordstrom Rack. When officers arrived, Crowder had left the department store. Officers later spotted him at a nearby Walmart in the Empire Center shopping center on Victory Place. You're sniffing butts in a Walmart. You're just taking anything the land will give you, huh? What if he had some weird refined palate for smelling butts, like a sommelier, but for asses? Like he can smell a woman's butt and tell if it's a BBL. Oh, that's synthetic. That's no good at all. Or he can tell a woman's age. Oh, 1986. That was a great year. Using the store surveillance system, officers monitored the suspect as he moved through various departments, according to a July 24th Burbank Police Department press release. Buttbank. While in the women's section, the suspect was observed following a female customer, crouching near her just like he did in the Barnes & Noble, and engaging in lewd behavior by inappropriately sniffing her ass. Of course, the article doesn't say ass, but I'm going for a dramatic effect here. Crowder was charged with 1 count of loitering with intent to commit a crime. His bail was set at $100,000.
It felt like anywhere I moved, he kept following me. So I recorded just in case he was trying to say anything or do anything to me. But I definitely didn't expect him to do this. Like, what the actual... And the whole time I'm thinking I'm fine because he hasn't said anything or touched me or anything. But then you notice that he goes over and does the same thing to this girl. And he'll crouch down low and pretend like he's doing something and then smell? I don't know. And the whole time I'm wondering why he's always around me. But this was our interaction.
What are you doing?
You mean to tell me we can't put this man in a SpaceX rocket and shoot him off to the farthest parts of deep space where he can't sniff anyone's ass like Uranus? That's the only way you're going to get rid of this guy. You can't rehabilitate him, and you damn sure can't reintegrate him. You can't put him anywhere where there's a woman's butt to be sniffed, and that's like 99% of the civilized and uncivilized world. A court appearance is scheduled for August 1st. That was yesterday. Authorities said Crowder is a registered sex offender with a documented documented history of similar arrests for lewd conduct in both Glendale and Burbank, Buttbank. Dating back to 2021, anyone with information is asked to contact the Buttbank Police Department Investigations Division. I'd love to hear your opinions on this. What do you really do with a guy in this situation? Clearly, he's not going to stop doing what he's doing. Do you lock him up? Do you give him years in jail? Or do you put one of those devices on his nose that you give to drunk drivers? Fun show, fun show, fun show. The music for this episode is from Wave Society Beats. Get your music from Wave Society Beats. I'll leave the contact information down here at the bottom. If you're a producer and you would like to have your music featured on an episode of this podcast, reach out to me on any one of my social media platforms. Don't forget to follow me on my YouTube, my IG, my Facebook. That being said, I'm going to wrap this one up, but I'll be sure to talk to you guys very, very soon. Jusqu'à la prochaine fois. Clearly, he's not afraid to go to jail. I'm going to put one of those devices on his nose that you give to drunk drivers. So I caught that story back in August 2023 where he was sniffing women's butts in a Burbank Barnes & Nobles. He was supposed to have registered as a sex offender back then. When they caught him, they only gave him 60 days and they did not charge him for not registering as a sex offender. Fast forward 2025, here he goes again. He's a serial butt sniffer. There's no habilitation for that. You can shake people out of heroin. You can bring people back from porn addiction. You can even stop people from drinking alcohol. But once you catch a chippy for sniffing women's asses, it's over. July 26, 2025, Havcast 587, episode 587. Let's go. Of course, I have a few things to share with you guys. An evening of reflection. Shall we? Dare cop stripped of badge after own body cam catches affair with married teacher.
Okay.
Oh, God. Oh. Yeah. All right, I'll see you tomorrow.
I think he should get himself checked after that, because what type of cooties lace smooch leaves someone gasping for air with a runny nose immediately after? Oh, Officer Dick Badge in the Punani Patrol. Lebanon police officer Brian Gilly's body cam captured him flirting with teacher Shelby Moss in her Castle Heights elementary school classroom. Anytime, anywhere, huh, buddy? And even sharing a long, steamy kiss soon after a student had interrupted them. Fox 17 reported the pair later confessed to also having sex on school grounds. Even while the cop accepts that kids could still have been on campus, he doesn't care about those kids. He's trying to get his weapon serviced. This story especially stood out to me because growing up in New Brunswick school systems, we had there was Detective Chinchilla and Officer E.C. Ford. If you're from the area, if you're of a certain age, you remember them, and you also remember how them two, along with a handful of other New Brunswick police officers, were implicated in running a prostitution ring. This is what they do. Dare and coochie wrangling goes hand in hand. It's like a time-old tradition. Gilly admitted that he had done wrong, a little post-nut clarity, as he pleaded for leniency at his decertification hearing in April, but was permanently banned from serving in law enforcement in May. You threw it all away. You engaged in sexual activity at a school as an officer who was supposed to protect children. You threw it all away for a flat-chested two that may or may not have bronchitis, said William Chip Kane, executive secretary at the Tennessee Peace Officer Standards and Training Post Commission that voted to oust him. The married teacher was suspended and later resigned. Damn, the Tennessee State Board of Education is reviewing whether to strip her teaching license, and I'm pretty sure she's on the outs with her spouse too. It is not immediately clear why Gilly's body cam switched on while he flirted with the teacher in August last year. It's an act of God. It caught them talking about teasing each other, with Gilly telling his mistress, "You just complain I don't touch you enough. You're the one who teases me all night long," he said tellingly. Wait a minute, because after all this, it's all said and done. Everything is out in the open. You lost your job. She's about to lose her job. Do y'all still want to screw each other? Or the only thing that was hot about what was going on was the fact that y'all knew y'all weren't supposed to be doing it? At one point, a student interrupted them, but as soon as the coast was clear, the cheating teacher walked to the cop, the coochie constable, embraced him and gave him a big smooch. All I'm saying is that the kiss sounded more like the transmission of a bacterial infection than it did a sexy kiss. Oh God, Gilly gasped when they finally separated. "I'll see you tomorrow," he added, panting as he walked out the side door. He sounded like she stole his life force. The sexual activity they admitted to came a month later, but was not caught on body cam. Screenshots of text messages between the pair obtained by Fox 17 show them talking about dressing up for Christmas and exchanging "I love yous." This is the thing with cops and or teachers, because becoming a cop takes some years. Becoming a teacher takes some years. It should be something that you just don't want to throw away over some hot in the ass fling. And now you don't even want each other anymore after it's ran its course. You done lost everything. You're not even horny for each other anymore. Gilly initially denied the sexual relationship during the internal inquiry, but later confessed and resigned from the force. They had you on your own body cam, dog. Talk about a fumble. Moss, who police confirmed was married, was suspended from the Lebanon Special School District for 2 days, but formally resigned in May. The district reported the incident to the Tennessee State Board of Education, which is reviewing whether Moss will lose her teaching license. Let me know your thoughts on this. Do you think she should lose her license? I mean, it's not like she slept with a student or anything, but there's something kind of crazy about having sex in a place where kids make macaroni art. Escaped suspect who stole boat for naked joyride may have swiped handcuff keys off sleeping NYPD cop. That is a lot.
A man accused of going on a naked joyride on a stolen boat in the Hudson River over the weekend has escaped from a hospital where he was undergoing a psychiatric evaluation. A source tells us that 36-year-old Stephen Blissetti slipped out of his handcuffs this morning when the police officer watching him fell asleep. Security cameras captured Blissetti putting on a doctor's jacket before he slipped out of New York Presbyterian Hospital in Washington Heights.
I love how that news lady was like a naked joyride. Oh, New York, the city that never sleeps. Unless you're a cop, apparently. How you going to tell your sarge that the guy didn't snap his wrist out of place or dislocate his thumb to get out of the cuffs? He snatched your keys while you were napping, dreaming of chopped cheese and breakdancing and whatever the hell else New Yorkers dream about. Then he drew a dick on your face. Okay, I made that last part up. The suspect who escaped NYPD custody after being arrested for swiping a boat from a Manhattan marina to go for a naked joyride may have stolen the keys to unlock his handcuffs from a sleeping officer who was supposed to be guarding him. He's lucky this guy didn't take his gun. Is now suspended without pay, the Daily News has learned, as he rightfully should be. Stephen Blissetti slipped out of New York Presbyterian Hospital, Columbia, where he was taken for evaluation after his arrest, while the cop assigned to watch over him dozed off for a few minutes. Multiple sources said that's all it takes. Blissetti, 36, fled in a white lab coat he apparently swiped to disguise himself as a doctor, a surveillance image obtained by the news shows. Like I mentioned previously, he's lucky this guy didn't care enough about all that to even go for his gun. I mean, after all, you're only on babysitting duty. The hard part was already done for you. The guy was already apprehended. All you had to do was just sit and watch and make sure he didn't go anywhere. And he hit you with a S-class move for what seems to be a D-class cop. Your assignment was only one peg above traffic duty and you botched it. The officer involved has been suspended without pay, an NYPD spokesman said. Cops on Thursday were trying to determine if Blissetti, 36, managed to swipe the handcuff keys off the sleeping cop before fleeing to Washington Heights about 6:30 a.m. Wednesday, and they are extremely fortunate that this guy wasn't some killer or nut looking to harm someone. Blissetti, who was naked when he was arrested Saturday for trying to steal a boat moored on the Hudson River, was wearing blue hospital pants, the white lab coat, and hospital socks when he was caught on surveillance video leaving the hospital. He has not been caught. This guy is still out there looking like a doctor. Clearly, this man is a master of disguise, and you know he's not wearing them hospital clothes anymore. He could be dressed as a police officer watching you look for him. This is New York City spirit animal right now. He scratched like 3 things off of his bucket list in one turn. He slipped the cops, went skinny dipping in the Hudson River, and he successfully went on the run. That's what every New Yorker wants. Blissetti is facing grand larceny charges for allegedly swiping a keel boat from the Dyckman Marina in Inwood around noon Saturday and rowed it to a trimaran moored out in the Hudson River, just having the time of his life. NYPD Harbor Unit cops nabbed Blissetti naked on the second vessel. Officials said it was believed he was high on drugs, possibly methamphetamines, at the time of his arrest, and was taken to the hospital to be evaluated. It was not immediately clear if any of the officers responsible for watching Blissetti at the hospital are facing department discipline. They should get something. An email to the NYPD was not immediately returned. Now, they said officers as in plural, so if it was more than one officer, there's absolutely no reason any one of them should have fell asleep while on watch. If it's 2, hey, you sleep for an hour, I'll sleep for an hour, and we'll keep doing that. But they should have came up with something. Let me know what you think. Fun show. The music for this episode is from the Wave Society Beats. Get your music from Wave Society Beats. I'll leave the contact information down here at the bottom. If you would like to have your music featured on an episode of this podcast, reach out to me at any of my socials. I'll leave them up top. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel at AEOR Newscom Crime News. That being said, I'm going to wrap this one up, but I'll be sure to talk to you guys very soon. Jusqu'à la prochaine fois. The lady said naked joyride. Oh, New York, the city that never sleeps unless you're a police officer, apparently. How do you tell your Sarge that the guy didn't break out of his handcuffs? He took one of the keys. He took your key while you were off sleeping, dreaming of chopped cheese and graffiti, whatever the hell you dream of in New York. Bunch of degenerates. January 4th, 2025, Halfcast 585, episode 585, let's go. Of course, I have a few things to share with you guys. An evening of reflection. Shall we? Homeland Security agents charged after allegedly selling drugs confiscated as evidence.
A second Utah-based Homeland Security agent is now charged with conspiracy to distribute drugs. The FBI accusing Special Agent Nicholas Kindle of using his position with DHS to get access to drugs and then arrange to sell them out there in the street. His alleged associate was charged last month for similar drug crimes. Investigators believe the two agents made $195,000 from illegal drug sales to an informant last year.
Dope dealing cops, my favorite. Let's be sensible here. Those drugs aren't benefiting anyone sitting in a cold, dusty evidence locker. It's like money in your mattress. You got to put it to work for you. You got to reinvest it. You put the drugs back on the streets, then you can shave a few years off your 401k. Job security. As long as there's drugs on the streets, you'll never be out of work. So what if a few people lose their lives in a drug deal gone wrong? You got to crack a few eggs sometimes. Spending money, you can finally take that cheating ass wife and those rotten kids on that vacation that they don't deserve, the one that you couldn't afford because of your job as an underappreciated public servant. A pair of Department of Homeland Security agents have been accused of using a confidential informant to sell illegal drugs that had been seized as evidence. Now, do you think this confidential informant was willingly selling drugs for these agents, or did they have some type of leverage on him? Were they working him like a government mule? DHS Special Agents Nicholas Kindle and David Cole, who worked in Utah, will both face charges stemming from the alleged narcotics trafficking scheme. Cole was arrested 3 weeks ago after he was indicted by a grand jury in December. Kindle was arrested this week. Now, they didn't get them both together. Maybe your boy might have told on you. Federal prosecutors allege that both Kindle and Cole abused their authority and used their access to illicit drugs seized in evidence. Nobody's doing anything with those drugs anyway. Why not? In their scheme, under the false pretense that the drugs would be used as part of legitimate investigations. Kindle and Cole allegedly began the scheme in 2021. Prosecutors claim the pair also stole thousands of dollars of cash, a diamond ring, and an antique from Peru from law enforcement evidence lockups. Really? Like there's so many Peruvian antiques in evidence that no one would notice if one went missing? You mean to tell me they had access to cash and they still went and touched the drugs anyway? People sell drugs to get access to cash. Why bother with A when you can skip straight to Z? This is why I always say people get greedy, they get sloppy, then they get caught. Between 2022 and 2024, the agents allegedly sold drugs known as bath salts. You mean the zombie drug that had people walking around out here cannibalizing other people's faces? To Homeland, you couldn't have picked something a little bit more sweet like weed or coke? To Homeland Security investigations, confidential sources for thousands of dollars and allowed those sources to resell the drugs on the streets of Utah for a profit. According to prosecutors, that's what makes them drug dealers. The agents did not arrest the buyers who purchased the drugs, and that makes them crooked cops. Bath salts are illicit synthetic cannabinoids that produce a high and can be life-threatening. We know the alleged operation brought in between $195,000 and $300,000, according to the FBI. The FBI alleged that the special agents used an encrypted messaging app to direct their middlemen to meeting locations, including mundane spots like a Panera Bread. Why am I not surprised that dope deals happen at Panera Bread in a Nike store? The duo landed on the FBI's radar in October 2024 after a lawyer representing the criminal informant involved in the scheme contacted the U.S. Attorney's Office in Utah to report that Kendall and Cole had forced them to engage in potential unlawful acts. According to a borough affidavit, I figured they were forcing that person to do that. So you mean to tell me out of all the drugs that were in that evidence locker, and I know they have a hell of a stash, the only one that you could pick out was bath salts? They're probably not even the most lucrative out of the selections in there. You couldn't have got someone some gummies, some mushrooms, some weed or something? You had to pick the one drug that makes people eat other people's face? Just tell us you don't care about us without saying you don't care about us. Both Cole and Kendall face a felony drug distribution conspiracy charge, and Kendall will face an additional charge of conspiracy to convert property of the U.S. government for profit. According to CBS News, a judge on Thursday set Kendall's initial court appearance for January 21st in Salt Lake City. If convicted, the special agent will face a maximum of 25 years in prison. Well, at least he won't be going in as a law enforcement officer. He'll be going in as a drug dealer, right? Kendall was charged via an information document issued by the U.S. Attorney's Office, which does not require grand jury approval to launch a criminal trial. Damn, both agents have had their credentials suspended, why not revoked, but they had not been fired at the time of this report. That's got to be coming down the pike. Cole has pleaded not guilty to his drug distribution charge. He will go to trial the week of February 24th and faces a maximum of 20 years in prison if he is convicted. There you have it, kids. Nicholas Kendall and David Cole, dope dealing as law enforcement. Tell me what you think. Next up, gosh darn, is that what he really said? Deputy who crashed in body cam footage was looking at porn on his phone, sheriff's office says.
Attention, 911 assist is turned off. Therefore, 911 assist call will not be made by sync. Attention, 911 assist is turned off. Therefore, 911 assist call will not be made by sync.
2980 County 65 Signal 4. You can use Creston and County Road 435. I'm going to be involved. There's going to be Signal 16.
I've curated a whole playlist of these type of stories, but let's just talk about last year alone. There was the off-duty cop who was doing security in a Kroger. He was described as having excessive sex with the employees. Then there was the Florissant police officer who pulled this woman over and stole the nude pictures out of her phone. Then we had the Nashville police officer that was caught filming OnlyFans while on duty. One thing seems to be a constant with these law enforcement officers. They either have to have their gun or their dicks in their hands, and I'm not sure if they can differentiate between the two sometimes. But the real question is it still police brutality if you're beating your own nightstick? A sheriff's deputy who crashed on body camera lied by omission by initially hiding the fact that he was looking at porn at the time, says the Lake County Sheriff's Office. Now, porn is more of an after-dinner program, right? Wouldn't it make more sense for an officer on duty to be watching something more along the lines of Blue Bloods or at the very least Reno 911? Gosh darn it, he said on footage after the crash, like a dork. Such a huckleberry thing to say. Like, why would you care about clean language? You were just watching porn in the patrol car. Yeah, that effing really sucked. Yeah, like a dork. The internal affairs report from the Office of Professional Standards determined that he lied, was looking at porn on his phone while driving the patrol vehicle, and also failed to wear his seatbelt. Oh, he was just all out. He didn't want anything restraining. Law and Crime is not naming him because he has not been charged with a crime. Fair enough. The deputy resigned during the investigation. CPL Chanel Martin of the Lake County Sheriff's Office told Law and Crime in an email.
10-4. Oh, no, not this time. Gosh darn it. Yeah, that fucking sucked.
Driving while watching porn in the police cruiser with the seatbelt off, just completely unhinged. What else is left but to resign if you have any respect left for yourself? But don't worry, cops do worse stuff every day. You'll enter the law enforcement portal and you'll be beating your meat in another department's car by spring. His body cam from the afternoon of November 6, 2024 shows him with his phone out, though it is unclear what it has on. It's not Bugs Bunny, I assure you that. But what is clear is that the yellow airbag burst out right at the money shot. He indicated to at least one passerby he was okay. He walked over to another vehicle that apparently got caught up in the crash. Law and Crime, this is what's even worse. Not only did you bang yourself up, you ended up getting somebody else caught in this. Law and Crime is omitting the encounter because it shows the woman, but in it, the deputy is checking on her. "Hello, ma'am," the deputy tells the other driver in the video. "Are you okay? I'm so sorry. You really have to put your cop face on. You have to put your professional face on after you just caused a crash from watching porn while on duty." "It's okay," she said. "My brakes locked up," he said. Yeah, that's the reason. She said she was okay. According to the Internal Affairs report, the deputy allegedly wrote that he ended a phone call when he saw a vehicle stopped in front of his because a school bus was stopped in the opposite lane with lights on. And you know, cameras are everywhere. They were going to look into this, and they were going to look into this thoroughly. On top of that, it was only a matter of time. On top of that, the light for his auto brake system was on after he left speed calibrations at the IPS range, so his brakes locked up. But a sergeant who reviewed video footage, which is his job, determined the deputy was looking at images on his phone when the crash happened. The deputy allegedly described having finished a call with a colleague at the time of the crash. Oh, this is terrible. Don't get me wrong, but I still don't think this is as bad as that San Diego cop who locked himself in the back seat of his own cruiser with a female detainee after she propositioned him and they ended up finding jizz all over his pants. There's just nothing you could do but resign after that. But in this case, lying only makes it just look so much worse. But video did not show him scrolling through text, authorities said. Instead, he was allegedly viewing a picture or a video at the time of the crash, the report stated. A supervisor later described there being no videos or pictures in the group chat. The investigator also determined that the deputy was not wearing a seatbelt at the time of the crash. He needed that free hand. In an interview on November 20th, 2024, the deputy admitted he was, in the report's words, looking at inappropriate pictures. Asked to clarify what he meant, he allegedly stated pornographic material like boobs or whatnot. Now, boobs are awesome. Tits are great, but tits are not going to make you take your seatbelt off. You are watching something pretty damn engaging. He reiterated that his brakes did lock up, but he did not have the time to stop when he realized the vehicle was stopped in front of him. Thinking with the wrong head killed your reaction time. He ultimately admitted he knew he was looking at inappropriate pictures, which was the leading cause of the crash. Finally, you came clean, and he deliberately left that information out of his report. He stated that it is called lying by omission. He further said he knows that one all too well. There you have it, kids. Porn on patrol. Do you think this is worse than that San Diego cop that got caught with that woman in the back seat of his cruiser? Let me know. Fun show, fun show, fun show. The music for this episode is from Will B. Alexander. Get your music from Will B. Alexander. I'll leave the contact information down at the bottom. If you're a producer and you would like to have your music featured on an episode of this podcast, reach out to me at www.watchaeor.com or DM me on any one of my social media profiles. Support the podcast. Get yourself a monthly membership over at www.watchaeor.com. $5 a month, get access to all my content, or sign up for Stage Dive, the platform for independent content creators. I am an independent content creator. $3.99 a month, listen ad free. You can't beat that. Or make a donation. My Cash App, my PayPal, my Buy Me a Coffee, all that info is up on the website www.watchaeor.com. That being said, I'm going to wrap this one up, but I'll be sure to talk to you guys very, very soon. Jusqu'à la prochaine fois. Driving without a seatbelt while watching porn in a patrol car, just totally unhinged. What else is left but to resign if you have any respect left for yourself? But don't worry, people are doing worse every day in law enforcement. You'll enter the portal and you'll have another job beating your meat in another department's unit by the end of the spring. December 28th, 2024. Halfcast 584. Episode 584. Let's go. Of course, I have a few things to share with you guys. An evening of reflection. Shall we? People are weird. Yes, they are. Target employee who allegedly took upskirt photo of customer tries hiding in bathroom before flee attempt fails.
All right. Where's the customer?
Customer's at guest.
You did.
I just spoke with her about every deal, so.
All right. What did she say?
She was in the shampoo aisle. She has a skirt on. She felt something hit between her knees. She turned around, black male, wearing red shirt, believed to be an employee. She said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "Oh, I'm sorry." And then she thought maybe it was him scanning items with like the scanner, but then she realized it was a cell phone.
Okay.
And then she was like, "What are you doing?" And then he said, "Oh, nothing, I'm sorry." And then left, and then she came up to customer service.
Jersey. Welcome back. Is this how you really gonna end the year? This is how you know Target is an extremely well-managed company. They told the police we can't give you anything as far as investigation until after we fire him. But don't worry, we're on the phone with corporate right now. Give us a couple minutes. Once we get confirmation, we're gonna can his freaky ass and you could do whatever you want with him. We do not want his ink in our water. And the police really waited outside for his dumbass. This is Tarjay, baby. Body camera footage shows officers in Wall Township, New Jersey. And for you bumpkins, Bammers, and busters out there that don't think there's a Central Jersey, I'm in Central Jersey. Wall Township for this story is South Jersey. And if you're especially dumb, like I really believe you are, Newark is Northern Jersey. Chasing down a now fired Target employee who had allegedly taken an upskirt photo of a customer. David I. Sutton was initially arrested on August 27 for invasion of privacy, obstruction of the administration of justice, and harassment. He tried to run his fat ass. On top of that, that, authorities presented a child pornography case against him the following month. They claim they found him in possession of a large amount of this abusive material, which just backs my theory that it's never your first time. It's only your first time getting caught. As seen on body camera footage from August 27th, a Target employee relayed an allegation that another employee touched a customer's leg and apparently took an upskirt photo.
He starts showing me the video, and then this other manager comes in and is like, wait, we can't show anything, like this, but enough to like where I could see him, like clearly he goes there with something in his hand and like goes right under, assuming like he takes a picture, and the lost person's like, yeah, that's not one of our like tablets or anything like you would scan a device for. It's hard to see, but he said it. That's not it. That's not one of those things. Apparently he's been in the bathroom for like 15 or 20 minutes. He's not coming out. But Target's like, we have to, she comes in, stops everything. She's like, we have to terminate him before we can give you guys anything.
I'm putting together the Mount Rushmore perverts. First, it was that guy in the Burbank Barnes and Nobles that was sniffing women's butts. Then it was that guy in the Dollar Tree that ejaculated on a woman's back. Now you got this big black Negro in a huge red shirt in the middle of the store floor, reaching between a woman's legs to take a snapshot of her cooter. How did you think this was going to end? This is a confidence that comes from repetition. This is someone who's done this for a while and got a little bit too comfortable. And after looking into it, it was this team member here, the witness employee said. It appears that the witness employee and officer were reviewing surveillance footage of the crime. Though the body camera is blurred here and elsewhere inside the store, he described the suspect as currently being inside a bathroom stall for more than 15 minutes. Now, my initial bias was that it usually happens in a bathroom, so the upskirt instance happened in the bathroom. No, he caught this woman in the middle of the store floor while she was shopping, and she caught his ass. He had nowhere to run. He knew he messed up. The point of view officer relayed details to his colleagues outside the store. How does this guy ever think he's going to get away with something like that? Because he's done it 100 times or more, probably. One of them as exasperated. I don't know, said the point of view officer. People are weird. Yes, indeed they are.
Honestly, I have no idea. I was in the back waiting for him to come out of the bathroom.
Okay, it's all good, man.
Yeah. He's coming to the front now.
Okay. If you want to just see if he's going to go.
I don't know, yeah.
I think he said he's supposed to be going to her office. Yeah. So he's leaving now. He's walking out. Yeah, he's fucking running. Yo, stop! Yo, stop! You want to make this fucking worse? I'll make it fucking worse. Turn around, put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
Just the balls that he had to attempt this in the middle of the store floor in front of everyone, especially in broad daylight when there's heavy traffic, there's heavy shoppers going in and out of the aisles, tells me that there could possibly be some more victims out there. There you have it, kids. David Sutton, tell me what you think. Next up, man accused of attacking TV reporter saying this is Trump's America now. We got 4 years of this. It's only 4 years, but it's still 4 years. That makes two cockeyed criminals back to back. Is this a bad sign for 2025? Can we get this guy a monocle like Mr. Peanut to keep that eye from fishtailing, you know, rein it in a little bit? How many times did the cops have to tell him to look straight-ish just to get a clean mugshot? A Colorado man is facing possible bias-motivated charges for allegedly attacking a television news reporter after demanding to know whether he was a citizen. Well, ask your mother. She likes diversity. You cockeyed mongrel, saying this is Trump's America now, according to court documents. And I really think that statement is their Hadouken, their Kamehameha, their Bankai, their Viagra for all intents and purposes. Patrick Thomas Egan, 39, you're a grown-ass man, get a life, was arrested December 18th in Grand Junction after police say he followed KKCO KJCT reporter Jerron Alex's vehicle for around 40 miles from the Delta Atlanta area. You don't have a girlfriend? Alex told police that he believed he had been followed and attacked because he is a Pacific Islander. Now, Pacific Island is a very diverse ethnic group, but it's Polynesians, Micronesians, and Melanesians, some of the more popular nationalities that fall under that umbrella that we do know is Hawaiians and Samoans. After arriving in Grand Junction, Egan, who was driving a taxi, you're not taking any fares, you drove 40 miles for free with no fares, pulled up next to Alex at a stoplight and, according to an arrest affidavit, said something to the effect of, "Are you even a U.S. citizen? Can you look me in the eye when you ask me a question, sir? This is Trump's America now. I'm a Marine and I took an oath to protect this country from people like you." Now, if your oath was to protect the Constitution, you assaulted someone whose job is making the First Amendment do what it does. Much like your eyesight, your thoughts must be crossed, sir. There is no such thing as Trump's America. That's a very dangerous ideology, by the way. There is no such thing as any president's America. It's the American people's America, and that line of thinking suggests to me that you might be open to a dictatorship or even a king if they told you what you wanted to hear. Hey, aren't you that racist taxi driver that made national news for assaulting a news reporter? Business is really gonna boom for you. Alex, who had been out reporting now, his whole career revolves around working under the First Amendment of the same Constitution that you swore to uphold and defend. Make that make sense. Then drove back to his news station in the city. After he got out of his vehicle, Egan chased Alex as he ran toward the station's door and demanded to see his identification. It's none of your damn business. According to the document laying out police's evidence in the case, Egan then tackled Alex, put him in a headlock, and began to strangle him, the affidavit said. Co-workers who ran out to help and witnesses told police that Alex appeared to be losing his ability to breathe during the attack. You almost took him out, which was partially captured on surveillance video, according to the document. According to the station's website, Alex is a native of Detroit, the home of muscle cars and prostitution. It doesn't get more American than that, you fish-eyed bully. KKCO KJCT reported that he was driving a news vehicle at the time. Egan was arrested on suspicion of bias-motivated crime, second-degree assault, and harassment. He is scheduled to appear in court Thursday to learn whether prosecutors have filed formal charges against him. I didn't mind Trump as president last time, and I'm not going to mind him as president this time. The people voted for who they wanted. That's how the system works, and he's going to be the guy for the next 4 years. But what I could never stand was this sick cult following that comes along with him. These people that think he's the second coming. They want to touch the hem of his garment or something. These bigots and racists who are always bigots and racists. Don't let that go over your head. But whenever he's at the podium or in the office, they get a little bit more vocal. They stick their chest out a little bit more. They get a little bit more active. I think the proper term for it is dick riders. There you have it, kids. Patrick Thomas Egan. Tell me what you think. Fun show, fun show, fun show. The music for this episode is from Taylor Made Beats. Get your music from Taylor Made Beats. I'll leave the contact information down at the bottom. If you're a producer and you would like to have your music featured on an episode of this podcast, reach out to me at www.watchaeor.com or DM me on any one of my social media profiles. Support the podcast. Get yourself a monthly membership over at www.watchaeor.com. $5 a month. Get access to all my content, or sign up for Stage Dive, the platform for independent content creators. I am an independent content creator. $3.99 a month. Listen ad-free. You can't beat that. Or make a donation. My Cash App, my PayPal, my Buy Me a Coffee. All that info is up on the website www.watchaeor.com. That being said, I'm going to wrap this one up, but I'll be sure to talk to you guys very, very soon. Jusqu'à la prochaine fois. That's two cockeyed bastards back to back. Is that a sign that it's going to be a bad 2025? Can we give this man a monocle like Mr. Peanut so that eye is not bouncing around all over the place? That's two cockeyed bastards back to back. Is this a sign that there's going to be a bad 2025? Can we put an eye patch on him? Can we give him a monocle like Mr. Peanut? How many times did the police tell him to face straight for the mugshot before they gave up? November 25th, 2024, Halfcast 580, episode 580. Let's go. Of course, I have a few things to share with you guys. An evening of reflection. Shall we? I don't know what to tell you. Educator feigns ignorance when cops ask if she's been stalking ex-boyfriend despite showing up at his work 33 times in 19 days.
Hannah Freeman.
Hannah Freeman? Are you supposed to be up here? You are? Were you in his vehicle earlier? Well, we got a complaint from him that you were in his vehicle tonight and you're harassing him and stalking him.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Okay. Did you take some items from him last night?
See, ladies, this is how you get your man. This is a master class. How else are you going to know if you're not welcome if you don't show up? Let the law draw the line. But at the end of the day, don't leave any room for you to be able to say that you didn't follow your heart. And when you're being checked into that mental health facility while he's locking all his doors and windows, he's going to say to himself, damn, mom was right. But he'll be thinking of you, though, and that's a win. Cops in Ohio arrested a woman. Really? They didn't try to sell her any drugs first, who was allegedly stalking her ex-boyfriend and stole his wallet to make over $1,000 in Amazon charges on his credit card. Damn. Hannah Freeman, a 27-year-old educator at North Ridgeville City Schools near Cleveland, is facing charges of menacing by stalking and aggravated theft. Court records show body camera and surveillance footage capture Freeman showing up to the school where he worked on November 7th and sitting in her car in the parking lot. Oh, that's so sweet.
Because I did date her back in April we probably ended it. She kind of knew passwords to like my accounts and stuff. She's been messing with my accounts.
Where did she rack up the charges at?
It was all from Amazon.
See, ladies, all it takes is a little bit of stealing and stalking to get the relationship jump started, just to nudge it in the right direction. You make out a few gifts to yourself in his name, of course. You tell all your friends how he showers you in affection and how you don't need the call to show up at his job because you're telepathically linked together. You are life mates. Westlake police officers responded to the victim's school. While she claimed her ex-boyfriend had invited her to the school, he said otherwise. No, I didn't. She probably would say that, the victim told cops in a body camera video, which is redacted to conceal his identity. She actually yesterday followed me to my apartment. It's a love story, kids. She actually stole stuff from my car, medications, which I need, my car keys, which I actually was able to get back from her, a laptop, my wallet, and she just ran up a bunch of charges on one of my credit cards. She's like a real girlfriend. Officers went to her car and questioned whether she was supposed to be there. They know she isn't. They're just trying to see what she's going to say. And not for nothing, the way these teachers are behaving nowadays, she could have been waiting for a student in the parking lot. No lie. She said she had been invited while denying she had broken into his car or was stalking him. Stalking is such a messy term. Let's just say she was visiting unannounced very often.
Is your phone in the car?
I am. I'm putting it down.
Step over here.
Putting it down.
Do me a favor, turn around, put your hands behind your back. You don't got anything on you that's going to stick, poke, anything like that?
No.
Put your hands together like you're praying. keys for the car?
I don't know.
Stealing the medication amongst all things, that's kind of wild. That's something that people do when they know for sure that it's over and they're desperate and they're just looking for any way to get that person to contact them just one more time, even if it's out of anger. I don't know what to tell you. She said basically she told the cops to buzz off. Cops then took her into custody. Yeah, that'll do it. She is now free on bond. Is she going to end up in this man's bed naked under the covers one night when he gets up to go take a leak? According to an, she doesn't seem like a restraining order type of girl. According to an affidavit obtained by Cleveland NBC affiliate WKYC, cameras showed Freeman arriving at the victim's place of work 33 times in 19 days. You should strive to have that type of consistency in a relationship. She also allegedly made more than $1,000 worth of charges to his credit card on Amazon. North Ridgeville School said in a statement that the district placed Freeman on administrative leave and is cooperating with the investigation. There you have it, kids. Hannah Freeman. Be sure to check for her under your beds tonight. Tell me what you think. Next up. Man told ex-wife's new husband to flake off before stabbing him in the stomach on Thanksgiving morning. There's no place like home for the holidays. A little blood spatter on the Thanksgiving platter. What would make anyone think that it wouldn't be risky to have your ex under the same roof as your main at an especially terrible time to find out that your pimp hand just ain't as strong as you thought it was? A 72-year-old man in Florida has been arrested after he allegedly tried to kill his ex-wife's new husband. He want that old thing back, stabbing the victim in the stomach on Thanksgiving morning. Gregory Grant was taken into custody on Thursday and charged with one count of attempted homicide. Attempted means you failed. Records reviewed by Law and Crime show the Escambia County Sheriff's Office said that deputies at about 11:15 a.m., the turkey ain't even done yet, responded to a 911 call about a possible stabbing at a home in the 10,000 block of McGregor Drive in Pensacola, which is about 200 miles west of Tallahassee. 11 a.m. is a little early, isn't it? He must have had that one in the holster. That must have been simmering overnight because the family doesn't usually start falling out until about 8, 9 o'clock at night. But what do you expect when you're dangling this man's ex-wife in front of him like a piece of sweet potato pie and he's seeing what he once had and what he might never have again? Following a preliminary investigation, authorities determined that Grant was temporarily living with his ex-wife and her new husband. There it is. There's the problem. According to a report from local news website North Escambia, at some point on Thursday morning, the two got into an argument that escalated into a physical confrontation. You didn't see this coming? There had to be signs that it was brewing somewhere along the line leading up to this. The altercation culminated in Grant allegedly stabbing the new husband in the upper abdomen. Grant was taken into custody and booked into the Escambia County Jail shortly after 1 p.m. I don't even think the football games were on then. The victim just ruined Thanksgiving. The victim was immediately transported to a local hospital for treatment of injuries that were reportedly described as not life-threatening. The victim was identified by Pensacola ABC affiliate Ware as Alan Bingham. It's a tricky situation because it's not like this is a close friend or family member that fell off and just needs a place to rest their head until they get back on their feet. This is the ex-husband we're talking about here. At no point were any of you concerned that you might get up to go take a leak in the middle of the night and he'll sneak to your side of the bed to spoon his ex-wife one last time, or while you're getting that first Thanksgiving plate with that huge drumstick that he wouldn't be giving you the side eye. This was bound to manifest in some type of way, whether he said something outright or whether he pulled a stunt like this. Bingham spoke to Ware about the incident on Thursday afternoon, explaining that Grant had been homeless before he and his wife allowed Grant to stay in their home on a temporary basis. And I'll never fault someone for being compassionate. This was a very compassionate thing to do, but there was always going to be a risk involved with doing this. According to Bingham, Grant was clammed up in his room when Bingham Bingham told him to come out. You're nailing his wife mercilessly and often, and you want to just sit with him and watch the game like your buddies? He got real angry at me and told me to flake off, and he didn't want to hang or associate with me, Bingham said, which is a normal feeling. Bingham said he told Grant, I'm just trying to help you, per Ware. That's when the attack allegedly took place. He had a knife in his hand, which I didn't see at the time. Bingham told the station, I felt it stab me in my side. Then he tried to stab me again, but he cut my thumb trying to defend myself. I had his arm, so I took my right foot and tripped him. Watch the sweep. And that's how I got away and called 911. Then he locked himself in the room. Bingham said he was just trying to be a nice guy and help Grant in a time of need. And that's the appreciation I get. He said, well, yeah, what would have made more sense, and this is just my opinion, is that we'll help you however we can, but you're not moving in. You're more than welcome to visit for the holidays or whatever, but you're not moving in. The sheriff's office reportedly said that the incident is not considered to be domestic violence. Grant remained in detention as of Friday. See, he still has a roof over his head. He is being held without bond. Records show Grant is currently scheduled to appear in court at 8:30 a.m. on December 20th. There you have it, kids. Gregory Grant. What would you do? Would you have your ex-husband or ex-wife move in with you and your new husband or wife if they were homeless, or would you just help them from afar, or would you just not help them at all? Fun show, fun show, fun show. The music for this episode is from Will B. Alexander. Get your music from Will B. Alexander. I'll leave the contact information down at the bottom. If you're a producer and you would like to have your music featured on an episode of this podcast, reach out to me at www.watchaeor.com or DM me on any one of my social media profiles. Support the podcast. Get yourself a monthly membership over at www.watchaeor.com. $5 a month. Get access to all my content, or sign up for Stage Dive, the platform for independent content creators. I am an independent content creator. $3.99 a month. Listen ad free. You can't beat that. Or make a donation. My Cash App, my PayPal, my Buy Me a Coffee. All that info is up on the website www.watchaeor.com. That being said, I'm going to wrap this one up, but I'll be sure to talk to you guys very, very soon. Jusqu'à la prochaine. Bye. This is a particularly wild situation because it's not like a relative or another family member that fell on hard times and just needs a place to stay until they get back on their feet. We're talking about an ex-husband here under the same roof. Now he's looking at you like, yo, you got my house and you got my woman, and it's around the holidays. You're sitting in the chair that I used to sit in, getting that first plate with the big drum leg. It's going to manifest in some ways, whether it's out front, December 14th, 2024, Halfcast 582, episode 582. Let's go. Of course, I have a few things to share with you guys. An evening of reflection. Shall we? Man makes threats to President Biden and Barack Obama in ex-posting videos. Another moron, feds say. He's fully bald with a mullet in the back. That should already speak volumes to his character, kids. He looks like he could be someone's team mascot. He looks like he might have had a possum and or raccoon in a slow cooker when they came to arrest him. I wonder if they had to powder his head to keep the flash from blinding the other cops when they were getting his mugshot. A man in Illinois is facing federal charges for allegedly taking to social media, and these people are barely functioning adults mentally, but somehow they sure know how to work social media and all its platforms. And threatening, that's the disturbing part, and threatening to assassinate President Joe Biden, First Lady Jill Biden. Why? Former President Barack Obama and Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas even going so far as to post videos of himself making the threats on camera with his face in full view, according to prosecutors, and a face it is. I laughed for a while. Mayorkas, I'm going to have you effing killed. Jacob Stair, 36, that is a rough 36, allegedly wrote in one of the alleged X-broadcasts, which is detailed in Stair's criminal complaint. Filed in the Central District of Illinois last week, the complaint features images of posts and at least one video purportedly from Stair's X page. Prosecutors say that the Springfield man uses the handle @Stair I Love You A, and a law and crime review of that account shows that regular posts were appearing until December 6th, the day of Stair's arrest. I scrolled through his page to see if maybe X kept that post up of him making these threats, but I think they deleted it. But when I tell you, baby, when I tell you 98% of whatever the hell he was calling content is complete gibberish, the rantings of a total buffoon with maybe some political ideations regurgitated from somewhere else, because you know he didn't come up with it himself. The only thing that made sense on his entire page was a picture that he posted of a woman with her hairy coochie out. Now, if you look at the rest of his posts in relation to that, it's completely off brand, but that seems to be the only thing that was clear to me. Some woman with her hairy beaver out in his media library. The posts he allegedly made against the Bidens, Obama, and Mayorkas came in late November after he created his account on November 22nd. The page is filled with inflammatory statements aimed at both Democrats and Republicans, but it's the alleged threats of violence that wound up putting him on the radar of the U.S. Secret Service, according to his complaint. You think they're not looking? They're looking. I'm going to have you assassinated. You never understood my deadline since 2021, Stair allegedly said in one X post that tagged Obama. I did not see that one. That's how I know they deleted it. I'm going to have you raped, maimed, and only honored by my God, he allegedly said in a threat aimed at Jill Biden. In another, you're effed, he said in a post targeting President Biden, tagging his X page multiple times, according to the complaint. Here's what I'm not understanding, because it didn't just start becoming illegal to threaten the president. It's always been illegal. Depending on what school system you went to, they might start you in social studies at 3rd, 4th grade. Then you might even get into some American civics before you even hit high school. But what they're teaching you at those very early levels is the definition of treason, and that it's a federal crime to threaten anyone under the protection of the Secret Service. This is 3rd grade knowledge here, and especially with the attempts that were made on Trump's life, the Secret Service has a lot to make up for. So they're taking everything serious. Even if they know you're a fool, they're going to drag your silly ass in anyway. Federal authorities say it was Stair's video about Mayorkas that ultimately gave him away after Secret Service agents traced the post back to him in Springfield. I bet he's known as the town fool in Springfield too. Hey, a chain is only as strong as its dumbest link, with the complaint identifying the defendant as the subject in the video broadcast by the account Jacob Stair, who threatens Secretary Mayorkas. The complaint noted that Stair was familiar to federal authorities, though it's unclear why. Stair has been appointed a public defender or you're going down, buddy, and is being held in Sangamon County. The only way I can explain it is you got to go look at his YouTube channel. He has 7 subscribers, and I'm pretty sure all 7 of those subscribers are him under different account names, but that will give you a very clear picture of the type of person you're dealing with here. There you have it, kids. Jacob Evan Stair. Tell me what you think. Next up, fake Uber driver. There's something with that also. I'll tell you in a few. Made $300,000 stealing customers' cryptocurrency.
Prosecutors say the alleged scheme started in both cases with Nuro Hussein calling out the names of his supposed Uber passengers. Once in the vehicle, court documents allege he had 2 different ways of getting the victims' phones, either by saying his was dead or by offering to help troubleshoot the Uber app when it said one victim's driver had not arrived. Once the phone was in his hands, court documents say he was able to transfer a combined $223,000 in cryptocurrency, either by phone-to-phone transfer or phone-to-cold storage.
I was just looking at the story about the kids in New York City who were telling people they were raising money for their basketball team, and when people would give them their cell phones to make the donation, they would hit their Cash App. Boom, a lot of money. It's 2024 going into 2025 and beyond. Don't give anyone your cell phone, especially not strangers. You have to protect your PCI, your payment card information, your SPI, your sensitive personal information, and your PII, your personally identifiable information at all costs. Make sure you're turning on your multi-factor authentications when these apps offer them to you. And most of all, more importantly, be vigilant. If an Uber driver gets a hold of your cell phone, he now has control of the car. A stranger has control of the car and your cell phone. Doesn't that raise a red flag? Look at it like this. If a plumber goes to your house to do work on your pipes and he needs to use your wrench, doesn't that raise a red flag? Police have arrested a fake Uber driver who is accusing of stealing. Come on, NBC. It's accused of stealing more than $300,000 in cryptocurrency from unwitting passengers. Officers in Scottsdale, Arizona, a desert city east of Phoenix. We know where Scottsdale is. It's Maricopa County. Apprehended Nuro Hussein. Is this another one of those guys who's always like, "Tui, America," yet we find him over here sucking on the poisonous teat of capitalism? I don't know. On Wednesday, on felony charges of theft, fraud, and money laundering, Scottsdale Police Department said in a statement, in a joint operation with the United States Secret Service Field Office in Phoenix, police said they found that between March and December this year, the suspect pretended to be an Uber driver and picked up unsuspecting customers who had ordered a real ride outside a hotel in Scottsdale.
The victim from March told police when they asked for their phone back, Hussein gave a concerning response.
He made threats to at least one of the victims that they needed to chill or something bad would happen. And the victim believed that he was armed with a gun, although he did not see a weapon at that time.
If you remember back in 2019, there was the tragic story of Samantha Josephson, the New Jersey native who was attending the University of South Carolina. She mistakenly got into the wrong car thinking it was her Uber. It turned out to be a murderer who drove her off and took her life. Now, since then, Uber and Lyft have made drastic changes, but like with anything else, the odds are never zero. You got to be on point. What got me curious about this, though, is how was he operating under the guise of being an Uber driver? Like, if you go to the app and you don't see his picture, you don't see his license plate, that doesn't match up. How is he still getting passengers without alerting some sort of stranger danger? Police said Hussein would then ask to use the victim's phone. No, you may not, on the pretense of needing to look up directions or connect to the Uber app. That's what I'm trying to find out. How did you know he was even a legit Uber driver if he wasn't connected to the app when he picked you up while manipulating the unsuspecting victim's phone? The worst word anyone could ever be is unsuspecting. The suspect transferred cryptocurrency from their digital wallet to his digital wallet. Police said in a statement, the suspect was booked into Maricopa County Jail, Maricopa County, and both police and the Secret Service are continuing their investigation. He was charged with 2 counts of money laundering, 2 counts of fraudulent schemes, and 2 counts of theft. He appeared in court for a bond hearing Wednesday and is due to appear again on December 18th.
Due to the alleged threats and the level of skill shown in the fraud, prosecutors pushed for a cash-only bond of $200,000.
If Mr. Hussein is able to post bond, we'd ask for electronic monitoring, and I'd also ask for no use of the internet, given that this was an extremely sophisticated electronic fraud. We do not want Mr. Hussein to potentially destroy further evidence if it exists.
First, let's lay the groundwork by saying you're not using my cell phone. I don't know you, dog. If you don't know where you're going, I can pull it up and navigate for you from the back seat. But one thing I will not do is have someone that's in control of the vehicle also have control of my means of communication in case things go awry. The worst thing someone could possibly be is unsuspecting. The court heard Wednesday that he told one alleged victim to chill or something bad would happen. That's what he said to one of the passengers when they asked for their cell phone back. And if I'm a prosecutor, that is a kidnap charge. A $200,000 bond was placed on him, and prosecutors told the court that the suspect regularly travels to Ethiopia and was a flight risk. The terms of the bond include constant electronic monitoring, a ban on all internet use, and to stay in Maricopa County. Now, the courts are saying he stole $223,000. The Scottsdale Police Department is totaling the damage at over $300,000. That's why it says $300,000. I want to say, as these apps provide us more services and more conveniences, they make our lives a little bit easier. We can't allow ourselves to get complacent and exchange our personal security, our financial security, and even our safety and well-being for these little luxuries. There you have it, kids. Nur Hussein 2 times. Tell me what you think. Fun show. The music for this episode is from Taylor Made Beats. Get your music from Taylor Made Beats. I'll leave the contact information down at the bottom. If you're a producer and you would like to have your music featured on an episode of this podcast, reach out to me at www.watchaeor.com or DM me on any one of my social media profiles. Support the podcast. Get yourself a monthly membership, $5 a month, over at www.watchaeor.com. Get access to all my content, or sign up for Stage Dive, the platform for independent content creators. I am an independent content creator. $3.99 a month. Listen ad-free. You can't beat that. Or make a donation. My Cash App, my PayPal, my Buy Me a Coffee. All that info is up on the website, www.watchaeor.com. That being said, I'm going to wrap this one up, but I'll be sure to talk to you guys very, very soon. Jusqu'à la prochaine fois. I want to say, as these apps make more conveniences for us, they make more services for us to make our lives easier, we can't allow ourselves to get complacent and trade these conveniences in exchange for it. God damn it, man. Police have arrested a fake Uber driver who was accusing of stealing. Come on, NBC, you got to do better. A driver who was accused of stealing more than $300,000 in cryptocurrency. December 7th, 2024, Halfcast 581, episode 581. Let's go. Of course, I have a few things to share with you guys. An evening of reflection. Shall we? Nick Fuentes facing battery charge after Your Body, My Choice confrontation at his Illinois home. Listen, I'm not a professional journalist. I don't work for any of you, so I don't have to bite my tongue when I say I don't like this guy. I've never liked this guy. It's something about a white supremacist or someone who's white supremacist adjacent, but also with the last name Fuentes. Like, how does that work out? That just doesn't sit right with me. But this is America, the greatest country in the world. It doesn't have to sit right with me, but it also doesn't mean I can't clap for joy when bad things come his way as a result of him being the dickhead that he is. Far-right streamer and influencer Nick Fuentes has been accused of battery after allegedly spraying a woman with pepper spray like a ho-ho. What were you going to do if the pepper spray didn't work? Throw a drink in her face, hit her with a Cosmopolitan when she appeared at his front door in Illinois last month as his refrain, Your Body, My Choice, was going viral. Marla Rose, 57, told police that she went to record Fuentes' home on November 10th after she saw his controversial social media posts and that he pepper sprayed her, which she wasn't right for being there either, let's be honest, pushed her onto the concrete and broke her phone outside his Chicago area home in Berwyn, Illinois, according to a police report, which was filed November 11th. The woman didn't have any visible physical injuries, but her eyes were watery. Fuentes was arrested last month and released the same day. He is set to appear in court on December 19th. This isn't even gaslighting. Gaslighting requires some measure of subtlety. This is clearly in your face, on the nose, trolling a demographic of women who feel like they should have the right to do whatever the hell they want to do with their bodies. But this is what these pundits and talking heads do. This is what keeps them afloat with public attention. They said the post did almost 100 million views when he put it up on X. Then he had the nerve to say it was only a joke. Well, I would like to rub hot candle wax on your mom's tits. I'm just playing. I would like to rub Vaseline on your mother's lower back and or buttocks. I'm just kidding. You see what they do? This is how they maneuver. Fuentes was doxxed and his address posted on social media after he went viral for an X post that has been viewed more than 99.6 million times. It got a lot of traction since he posted it on election day, in which he wrote, Your Body, My Choice Forever, referring to abortion policies. And I'll give up my side of the fence when I tell you there are some assholes out there that actually agree with him on this. He told police that since he posted a political joke online, and this is what these cowards do in real time and on the internet, when they poke the bear, when they stir up a hornet's nest, they try to walk it back by saying, why so serious? Why are you in your feels? I was just kidding. I didn't mean it. He faced death threats and people showing up to his house unannounced and had been in fear for his life. The report stated maybe he needs a visit from that United Healthcare guy. I'm just playing. See how that works? Another woman who had driven by Fuentes' house called police to report that she has seen a woman shoved by a man outside the home. According to the police report, Rose was still at the house when police arrived, but she and Fuentes were separated while they spoke to officers. The report stated police said Fuentes became uncooperative with the resource officer on scene and would not answer any additional questions about the alleged altercation with Rose, according to the report. After his election day post, Fuentes' personal information began circulating online, with many on social media posting his address and pictures of his house writing, Your House, Our Choice. This is hilarious. And a now deleted, now I see the comedy, Fuentes. Now I see where the joke is. And it's on you. In a now deleted Facebook post, Rose had said that she was prompted to appear at Fuentes' door given the views he shared online. In her post, she also disclosed Fuentes' home address several times. Let me be clear about saying I don't think you should ever show up to anyone's home over an X post. That's only how he feels. It's only words, even if he does deserve to get punched in the face. But also, if you're making these type of statements and it's reaching the masses, the thing did 100 million views on X alone. So that means it spilled over into other social media platforms. Then you should be prepared to see somebody in public who doesn't agree with you. There you have it, kids. Nick Fuentes, tell me what you think. Next up, 6 Rutgers students accused of running drug ring with app allegedly created by alum. Exit 9 New Brunswick, you bastards, welcome back. It's good to be home. It's good to be home. If you are from around the way, and I'm talking New Brunswick mainly, but Franklin also, a lot of off-campus housing in Franklin, Highland Park, maybe Edison also, then you already know these Rutgers students love to party and they love to dib and dab. So maybe someone finally decided that, hey, it's a little bit too risky going out to the hood off campus to get these drugs. Let's find a way to provide some services in-house where they don't have to risk getting robbed. They majored in drug dealing. I love the post. 6 Rutgers University students and 1 alum were charged this week with running a sophisticated drug ring and allegedly used a private social media network to sell narcotics to fellow Scarlet Knights. What was it, like swipe right for dope? New Jersey prosecutors allege RU alumnus Andeep Ravuri, 23, of New Brunswick. If you live in New Brunswick long enough, you're going to sell some damn drugs, even if you're just trying your hand at it. Developed the closed network used by the group to sell narcotics to other Rutgers students. Through the social media app, narcotics distributors could post menus for drugs and solicit buyers from within the Rutgers University community, said Middlesex County Prosecutor Yolanda Ciccone in a statement. That sounds like a recipe for a snitch in waiting, but then again, we used to stand on street corners and sell out of houses and everything, so I guess the times are the times. How were people getting on this network? From the App Store, from Google Play? What, they show their student ID, they get 25% off dope? No one should have to be able to identify themselves in order to buy illegal drugs. Me personally, I would be terrified as either a drug dealer or a drug buyer to have my information posted up somewhere on this app. Rutgers students who established their affiliation with the school were allowed to join the network. That is a terrible way to vet people. You basically let anyone in. All it takes is one upstanding citizen that doesn't like what you're doing, and they're going to tell on you. All it takes is for someone on drugs to feel like you've slighted them in some type of way, and they're going to tell on you. And once given access, they were able to browse menus posted by distributors and contact them in order to negotiate purchases. It's like Instacart for drugs, said Ciccone, who helmed Operation RU Farm over several months. Cops recovered substantial amounts of marijuana, LSD, cocaine, psilocybin or magic mushrooms, Adderall, and Xanax in the bus. Oh, the diversity, kids. A gun and an undisclosed amount of cash was also seized. Ravuri was charged with leader of a drug trafficking network and conspiracy to commit drug distribution. The narcotics ring also allegedly included students Joshua Duffy and David Noodleman, both 21-year-old Noah Lisa Machio, Zachary Peterson, and Donovan Williams, both 22, and Catherine Tierney, according to the Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office. The students face charges ranging from money laundering and possession and distribution of a controlled dangerous substance. They're learning a different type of curriculum. Parents who are paying 35, 40 grand. I don't really know how much it is, but I know Rutgers is expensive as hell. Here's a fun tidbit for you. According to U.S. News and World Report 2025 rankings, Rutgers, New Brunswick is ranked 41 out of 436 national universities, which I don't think is that bad, with a U.S. News overall score of 78 out of 100. Now, if you're the plug, if you're the person that was giving these kids drugs to sell to their fellow students, they're going to publicly, nationally, and officially make you the reason why they're not ranked at least 25 out of 436 and why that overall score is not at least a 90. So you better pray that none of these kids tell on you, but you know they're going to tell on you. One is further accused of dealing drugs within a designated school zone. 75-80% of the city is a school zone, so take that with a grain of salt. The Post was unable to reach any of the defendants for comment. Ravuri's attorney, Jason Seidman, said all his client did was create an online chat room the other students exploited in order to sell drugs. He pulled a Nino Brown on them, y'all. The Nino Brown of Rutgers drug dealers. This is just my personal opinion on why that defense is weak, and I'd love to hear your comments on this. But all of these social media platforms, going back to Craigslist, we could start at OnlyFans. OnlyFans didn't begin as a specifically sexual platform, but it gravitated to that. Your Twitter X, your Snapchat, your Instagram, now your Twitch, all of these social media platforms, they want to gravitate towards a sexual element, not a drug dealing selling element. Drug dealers tend to be a lot more discreet unless they're invited to sell drugs on the platform. And even then, if a drug dealer is worth his salt, he won't take the invitation anyway. That's why I don't believe that the platform gravitated towards selling drugs unless it was built for that specifically. I haven't seen anything that he coordinated or directed any sales sidemen said, well, you're his defense attorney. That's what you better be saying. He maintains his innocence and looks forward to proving it in court. Innocent until proven guilty. Rutgers University is not commenting on the arrest. Well, what are they really going to say? There you have it, kids. Drug dealing ass college students. Tell me what you think. Fun show, fun show, fun show. The music for this episode is from Taylor Made Beats. Get your music from Taylor Made Beats. I'll leave the contact information down at the bottom. If you're a producer and you would like to have your music featured on an episode of this podcast, reach out to me at www.watchaeor.com or DM me on any one of my social media profiles. Support the podcast. Get yourself a monthly membership, $5 a month. Get access to all my content, or sign up for Stage Dive, the platform for independent content creators. I am an independent content creator. $3.99 a month. Listen ad-free. You can't beat that. Or make a donation. My Cash App, my PayPal, my Buy Me a Coffee. All that info is up on the website, www.watchaeor.com. That being said, I'm going to wrap this one up, but I'll be sure to talk to you guys very, very soon. Jusqu'à la prochaine fois. All of these social media platforms, Craigslist. We could even start at OnlyFans. OnlyFans did not begin as a specifically sexual platform, but it gravitated to that. Your Twitter X, your Snapchat, your Instagram, your Facebook, your Twitch. Now, all these platforms, the first thing they do, they start gravitating towards a sexual element. Exit 9, New Brunswick, you dirty bastards. Welcome back. It's good to be home. It's good to be home. If you are New Brunswick, you dirty bastards.